So, I made this video in hopes to just give someone hope or like help them feel more understood, just because I feel like every experience is unique to the point where sometimes we feel like, oh, what if it's not real? Because I've never heard anyone else experience that. What if it's in my head? And then we start invalidating ourselves. And so, I'm just gonna talk about my narcolepsy. Yes, I'm doing a service dog fundraiser, but the reason why I posted this separate on my YouTube channel and try not to tell anyone about it is just because I don't want this to be like a pity party or look like a cry for attention, but just really something hopefully that will pop up when someone with narcolepsy is struggling. Just because recently I was struggling, and so I looked up videos about narcolepsy, trying to, I guess, find comfort, validation, something along those lines. But yeah, so I got, sorry, I just pet my dog. I feel like, even if it, like, I try and grab and there's not actually hair, it's like, you always feel like there's hair in your mouth when you have a dog. But they're worth it. But anyway, so I got diagnosed end of last August. But I've had symptoms my whole life. Like, even when I was a kid, I was falling asleep in class. I was always tired. My parents noticed that even as a child, if no one woke me up, I'd literally sleep until 2 p.m., even as a toddler. Like, they never had issues with me waking them up or things like that. And my poor sisters would always beg me to get up and, like, watch cartoons with them because they'd be like, we're bored. But I'd sleep, and then in high school it got really bad and I was falling asleep in classes. I had teachers getting mad at me, and like, it was just so tempting to sleep. It's just what my whole entire being craved. I would get home, I'd fall asleep, or I'd be riding the bus and I'd try so hard not to fall asleep, but I wouldn't. I actually, like, hit my head on the back of the seat in front of me. Crazy stuff like that. And we never got help for it because doctors never believed me when I was a girl. When I was like a teenager, they always said I was just one of those skinny teenagers who was trying to get attention. And like, so bulimia and anorexia are real. Those are real issues, and those are hard. My doctors would accuse me of having it even when I wasn't even coming in for my weight. I'm well aware of the issue. I do not have anorexia or bulimia, thank goodness, because those would be really hard. I just have severe food allergies, and we found out I have, like, autoimmune diseases. But even though I was trying to come in for stuff like sleep or allergies, and so it's just kind of hard. And so for those of you who maybe had a hard time even getting a diagnosis in the first place, yeah, you're right, it is hard sometimes. It's hard to get checked out for what you're coming in to get checked out for sometimes. Like, they'll just tell you that's not your real problem, and then you're like, this is literally the reason I came in. But I finally last year got referred by an awesome healthcare worker at Weber State to the sleep doctor I go to now in the state that I live in, and he believed me instantly. Did a sleep lab, full-on sleep lab, right, where it's like 2 days and they even test you during the day, and was like, yeah, you definitely have narcolepsy with cataplexy. And I had never brought up the cataplexy as a kid or a teenager because I thought it was normal to just randomly lose the ability to hold your cup Or to, like, if you're laughing, not be able to move your arms. Like, I just thought it was normal. It never struck me that, hey, other people don't do that when they laugh. But I guess I was too tired to notice or care. I don't know. But now that I'm old, I feel like it's gotten even worse in my 20s. And, like, someone was asking me, well, don't you just feel tired? Can't you just keep going? Like, I'll admit, I feel like it's a bigger battle than some people think. So if you're feeling hard on yourself, it's hard, okay? Like, even if someone tells you, oh, narcolepsy isn't that hard, yes, there are other diseases out there, like, that I personally think would be worse, that I would choose narcolepsy over. Like, I would choose narcolepsy over cancer. I would choose narcolepsy over becoming a quadriplegic. There's a lot of things I would choose that I would think is harder, personally. But that doesn't make narcolepsy not hard. So just to, like, care for yourself a little bit, because what I tell people, and this is how I felt as a kid, it's not that I'm just tired, especially on the really bad narcolepsy days. It feels like every single individual muscle in my body is screaming for sleep. I used to always tell people, like, I feel like I'm addicted to sleep, and they'd be like, that's not possible. I've even had some medical professionals tell me that, but trust me when I tell you, sometimes with narcolepsy, well, actually a lot of times, to be honest, every muscle in your body is screaming for sleep. Literally screaming. And so if you feel like that and you're like, oh, but it's just in my head, someone else, that's me, is saying, hey, I feel that too. If you have been diagnosed with narcolepsy, you've gotten it tested, it's a real feeling. And that's so awesome that you've gotten this far to past that. I also just have been concerned because I've been reading articles and just doing research in, like, groups and stuff. And I mean, this is just, I think, a well-known fact that, like, a lot of people with narcolepsy also have depression, probably because, like, I personally feel like I get scared to, like, miss out on life when I take naps, but at the same time, if I don't take naps, I'm endangering other people's lives, so I'm like, I gotta take naps. It's just, like, sometimes it's depressing, because it's just like, what's the point? I'm just gonna be tired tomorrow. I'm gonna be exhausted the next day, and I'm expected to do the same things as everybody else, and do just as well as everybody else, even though I'm exhausted no matter what I do, no matter how much sleep I get. I personally can't take medication. I'd love to meet another person who has narcolepsy and can't take medication, but I can't take most of the medications out there due to my autoimmune diseases and allergies. And sometimes it's just like, but even with medication, you can still be very tired. So even if you can't take medication, still kudos to you for making it this far with your narcolepsy, because, like, it's still there. It helps with it, but your narcolepsy is still there. It's like anxiety. You still feel anxiety. You can still feel anxiety when you're on anxiety medication. It helps, but it's still there. So just wanted to, I guess, sympathize with others, like, because sometimes I worry, I wonder, I don't know if there's a study out there on this, I need to look it up more, but I would like to see a study or something on just, like, suicidal thoughts and even just suicide in general when it comes to narcolepsy, because, like, to be honest, I haven't, like, suicidal made a plan, but I was, like, passive suicidal for a little bit recently. I won't say when, but, like, passive suicidals, like you don't have a plan to kill your life, end your life, but you're also not actively trying to keep it going. Like, kind of like when I had thoughts that, oh, I'm experiencing an allergic reaction to something I accidentally touched or ate. Well, I'm not gonna kill myself, but I'm also not gonna like take Benadryl to stop the allergy, and we'll see if I wake up alive in the morning, kind of thing. Like, just that. So it's just the passive stuff. But thankfully, I got help. I'm doing better. But just like, if you have narcolepsy and you're experiencing that kind of depression, or even, any issue and you're feeling that kind of state, mental state, just know that, like, maybe I've never met you, but, like, please take a nap on it. Like, give it another chance, give it another day, and, like, hold on, because please don't end your life. So if you think about it, this is what sometimes I have to tell myself. Like, and I personally believe in God, that's another reason I don't, but, like, I think about it. Sometimes it's disheartening because I'm like, I kind of like do percentages in my head. There's only a 5% chance I'll be successful, and then I put all my happiness on that success rate, right? But if you think about it, even if that was the case, which is not, but if it was, that's a better chance than 0%, which is what you're getting if you do suicide. So 5% versus 0, you might as well try the 5%. Even though it's not actually usually 5%, but our depression makes it look like 5%. But keep going, and depression and narcolepsy and the magnifying glass that narcolepsy puts on depression is real. Yeah. But I hope that for those that maybe look this up that have narcolepsy, I hope this helped you, or even those with any issue, that especially those invisible struggles that we have that can often get swept under the rug.